She cut a piece of my heart and took it out by inserting the tip of the blade of a long knife. She very delicately straightened the knife to take a piece of blood-spattered meat into her mouth. A red stream of blood, flowing from the tip and traveling down the shiny sharp steel blade, filled the groove of the five-pointed star symbol marked on the blade just before the wooden handle of the knife. A few drops of blood oozed from the joint of her lips on the right side as she began to chew the piece. She smiled as she swallowed the meat. I felt a sharp cut in my chest and found it too hard to breathe. I opened my eyes. Oh my God, it was a dream, a nightmare. After realizing it was a dream, I became more tense and restless. The digital clock on the side table read 5:30, Wednesday, February 13th. I began to sweat profusely. It was my 13th dream. I had a maximum of 18.5 hours left to live if this dream came true, as well as my last 12 dreams that I had on the 13th day of every month since I met her on Friday, January 13th. I had completely forgotten that her head was resting on my chest, making it difficult for my lungs to resume normal breathing. My still alive heart was beating very fast. I was almost drowning in a flood of fresh sweat on my chest. The last 12 dreams all flashed through my mind in sequence. I met her for the first time exactly 13 months ago when I was returning from my mother's funeral. Clad in a black suit, the bewitching beauty stepped out of an old model but well-maintained car. Her beauty magnetized my full consciousness to focus on her. I wasn't lecherous, and I was just coming out of a funeral, my mother's, but my eyes wouldn't let me look away. She turned to me, and there I was, quite unaware that I had been caught red-handed staring insolently at a beautiful foreign woman at the gate of the burial ground. My sight and mind were caught in the depths of her elusive green eyes. In an instant I found my body lifted into the air and sucked into a new world by her eyes. I flew on, higher and higher. The sun was dimming and turning into a star as I left the solar system behind. The sky was full of stars, few twinkled, few blazed, and few exploded. I soon saw a green planet. Everything was green there, green sun, green moon, green cloud, green water, green restaurant, and there she was waiting for me on a table, in a cozy restaurant. There were 2 candles, the smaller one burning the body of the larger one. Smaller one burning the body of the larger one. 2 glasses filled with champagne lay next to a vase with a rose bud. I picked a bud and gently touched its glass with the tip of a pink petal. She laughed, "But you just said I have the most beautiful eyes." The alarm broke my dream. It was the first time in my life that an alarm interrupted my sleep. I couldn't remember ever dreaming or sleeping long enough in the past to allow the alarm to go off. I have been treated for insomnia and schizophrenia, lack of sleep and inability to distinguish between reality and imagination, since childhood. I saw a digital watch on the side table. It read, 5:30 a.m., Friday, January 13th. That same evening, I found her sitting in a cozy restaurant. I asked, "Would you mind if I joined you?" She smiled with sparkles in her green eyes and said, "You're welcome." For the first time, I had a dream and it came true. She became my dream girl, literally. My chronic illness was not so easy to cure with medicine. However, her love took on the abnormality, at least once a month, just one night a month. Before I realized that I started waiting for the 13th day of every month, she had already entered my life as my wife, as my love, as my dream girl. In my second dream I saw her having sex in my living room. That day she moved into my apartment to live with me. That evening we celebrated Valentine's Day a day early in my living room just like in my dream. 2 months later we registered the marriage at the municipal office. After pronouncing her and me husband and wife, the registrar praised her beauty. "You have the most beautiful eyes and a very sexy figure." Bang! I was unable to control my fist and break his soft nasal bone. Blood dripped from his nose onto the white marble floor of the municipal office, and I saw my dream girl surprisingly but interestingly watching the blood. I already saw this scene live 6 hours ago when I was woken up by my alarm at 5:30 a.m. on Friday, April 13th. Autumn was at its peak. Maple leaves covered the roads. A few were yellow. A few were brown. I watched the leaves swing in the air before they touched my lawn. She came from behind and placed her head on my shoulder and gently kissed my neck below my right ear. "Do you like free fall?" she asked, her kissing uncontrollable. "Yes. I mean..." I couldn't finish my statement. Very soon her lips closed mine and we started peeling off our clothes one by one like maple leaves leaving a tree. By this time I had become aware of the presence of psychic power within me and eagerly awaited that night to see what fortune would come for us. I was falling through the clouds, not like maple leaves, but being directly accelerated by gravity. I screamed for help. Slowly her hand moved forward and on the back of my head pulled me closer to her face. I saw her green eyes, a dark green lake and immersed in it. She cupped my trembling lips with hers and began to feed me the strong sedative of our love. It was an experience like no other. We were flying in the air. Very soon we were floating in mushroom clouds like maple leaves. This dream also came true for me within 10 hours on Friday, July 13th. That day she took me skydiving. Last month, when the alarm clock interrupted my sleep at 5:30 a.m., Sunday, January 13, 2013, I had a smile on my face. That wouldn't happen, at any cost. All the odds were against it. I am a normal man with no psychic powers, there is no such power anyway. I was already relaxed when she offered me a cup of coffee. Should I tell her what's happening to me? Yes, I should. She is my wife, my love, I decided firmly. I was about to tell her about my unusual experiences when the bell rang. She opened the door to be greeted by a pale old man in a snow-covered old black coat and hat. He offered her the package. "I have to get back before things get bad. It took me a while to find you, signore," Sorry, signora. His Italian accent broke as he looked at her wedding ring. He continued, you may not know her, but she left you a fortune, signora. I took care of everything and it's finally here, all her assets in a deed from her bank. It's a total of 300,000 over 1 million inch and left us. I almost passed out when she pulled out a bank check that had $1,313,000 on it. I saw this number in a dream a few hours ago. The next month we had our second honeymoon in beautiful Europe. We came back yesterday. We were both very tired. I wanted to go to bed as soon as possible, expecting a new gift from my dream, but it turned into a nightmare. I became aware of her presence very close to me. Her head was on my chest. Own paranormal power. Is she aware of my dreams? Why did I only get psychic power after meeting her? Is she a wizard or a witch? Why do I only dream on the 13th day of the month? Another wave of sweat splashed through the millions of pores of my skin. Something stronger ran down my chest. She opened her eyes and looked at me. The feeling of a sharp cut on my chest was getting more and more intense. Her hairpin cut into my skin right over my heart. A very thin stream of blood across her right cheek stopped at the junction of her upper and lower lips. Next, she raised her face. A few drops of blood flowed from the joint of her lips on the right side. There was a smile on her face that soon disappeared when she saw the blood. In an instant she ran to the kitchen and brought a first aid kit to cover the wound. When she finished she came closer and pressed a kiss to my forehead. I saw my bloodstain on her chin. She looked like the most beautiful woman on earth, my wife, my love, my dream girl. I breathed a sigh of relief when I saw my 13th dream come true, but I began to feel guilty for doubting her. There was nothing unusual about her, it was me who was not normal and who developed something strange. I couldn't control myself and cried as I hugged her tightly. Honey, my love, my dream girl. I can't wait for tomorrow. Today is our second Valentine's Day. You showered me with your love last Valentine's Day. Today I will serve you my heart. Her smile widened. We went to the supermarket to buy the necessary things for our private celebration. She was busy shopping for groceries and other kitchen supplies, while I was looking for a book of cake recipes and the necessary ingredients. I wanted to surprise her with my love. I am the luckiest man in the world. Ever since she came into my life has turned into a dream, a real dream. Everything is so magical, full of pleasure, that I have nothing more to ask for in my life. My dream girl and I can do anything for her. I baked a heart-shaped cake. I read another line from the recipe book, garnish it with cherries. Oh no! I forgot the cherries. But there was a package of red cherries in the oven. Without much thought, I grabbed the package and took out the cherries to decorate the cake. I left the cake on the dining table. Our living room was lit by dozens of scented candles. Honey, I'm ready. Please join me in cutting the cake. Could you please bring a knife? I called my dream girl. And there she was, smiling in a red dress, standing by the opening between the kitchen and the living room. In her hand was a knife with a long blade. My eyes were drawn to a gleaming, sharp steel blade with a 5-pointed star symbol carved into it just before the wooden handle of the knife. I fainted. If you like our story, subscribe English Practice Stories channel and click the bell icon.